Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Ezel. I am the director of the North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Program. On behalf of Governor Cooper, I'd like to welcome you to this virtual Memorial Day Click It or Ticket kickoff. This campaign is going to be running statewide, starting today through June 6th. To start us off, I'd like to play an audio recorded message from Eric Boyette, the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Transportation.
And all of your family and friends safe this summer.
We thank the Secretary for those kind and inspiring words that summarized well what we're doing here today, kicking off for Memorial Day and in advance of summer, our Click It or Ticket Memorial Day campaign, encouraging folks to use seatbelts as we plan for our spring and summer vacations. We're centering today's kickoff around Robeson County, where exciting work is going on under the leadership of Grady Hunt. Mr. Hunt is the chair of the Robeson County Vision Zero Task Force, and I'd like to call on Mr. Hunt to say a few words. Grady?
Thank you, Mark, and I'm glad to be part of this important event today. As Mark said, I lead the Robeson County Vision Zero Task Force. We're a grassroots, community-based organization that was formed to do what we could to help save lives in our county. We have way too many people dying from traffic deaths in our county. In 2020, we had 53 traffic deaths in our county. We had trended in the opposite direction the 2 years before. But now we're trending in the wrong direction. But that we're not by ourselves. A lot of folks in the state trended in that same direction. Over half of these fatal crashes involve people not being buckled up. And that's a problem because seatbelt usage in the county has fallen the last 2 years. Last year it was 78% compared to a statewide average of 87%. But we've been working hard to find creative ideas that change the driving culture here in the county. We're grateful for the assistance and partnerships with the North Carolina Department of Transportation, the Governor's Highway Safety Program, the Robeson County District Attorney's Office, and UNC Health Southeastern in promoting seatbelt usage and helping to educate folks across the state and this county about the importance of being buckled up. The Robeson County Vision Zero Task Force has worked with these folks in different campaigns. We've worked with the UNC Health Southeastern and a seatbelt diversion program. To my knowledge, it's the only program of its kind in the state where first-time violators gets an opportunity to take a 2-hour seminar, and if it's successfully completed, the district attorney's office will dismiss the first seatbelt violation. That encourages folks to buckle up. We're also working with the SEATS program here in the county, where the governor's highway safety program has funded banner wraps on buses to make folks aware of the importance of buckling up. Summertime can be particularly deadly, and on our roadways and holidays such as Memorial Day are right around the corner. Now's not the time to let our guard down. I'd be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to thank First Sergeant Lewis and the North Carolina Highway Patrol, Sheriff Bernice Wilkins and the Robeson County Sheriff's Department, and all the police chiefs and police departments in Robeson County that help protect and keep our citizens safe each and every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. You are leading what is a nationally known and unique project to save the lives of citizens in Robeson County and to lead the way for other counties across North Carolina and frankly across the nation. Mr. Hunt pointed on an odd phenomenon that we're seeing not just in Robeson County and not just in North Carolina, but all across the country. And that is that during COVID, we had more people killed on our roads than usual, despite the fact we have people driving less. So it's our hope now as we move forward that we can address that issue and see a reduction in the number of traffic crashes. And we're doing that by the kind of projects that Mr. Hunt just outlined to prevent these kinds of crashes occurring in the first place and to encourage people to wear their seatbelts before they ever meet law enforcement. But if they do need to meet law enforcement, this weekend and this week is going to be one of the times in which they're most likely to do it, because we have engaged law enforcement from Murphy to Manio as part of this Memorial Day Click It or Ticket campaign. To speak on behalf of those law enforcement partners, we've got Colonel Freddie Johnson, who we're pleased to say is now the Colonel of the North Carolina State Highway Patrol, newly appointed, and has worked very closely with our office in efforts in the past. Colonel Johnson?
Thank you, Director Ezell, and I can tell you it's a good morning to see all our partners. I do want to thank Secretary Boyette and Board Chairman Grady Hunt and the student from St. Paul's High School. You know, I spent a lot of my career in Robeson County, and it's good to see the involvement that we have down in that community to try to make a difference in these fatalities. I do want to say, you know, on behalf of the Highway Patrol, it's great to be included in this discussion and to once again partner with the Governor's Highway Safety Program and law enforcement agencies across the state. We know that to increase our seatbelt usage, the ultimate goal of 100% compliance, we must partner with our communities. The Highway Patrol cannot do it by itself. And specifically, we want to partner with the families and the individuals that make up the areas that are overrepresented in fatal collisions, where non-seatbelt usage is a factor, like Robeson County. An example must be set, starting with law enforcement officers to those who we are sworn to protect. And that example must be carried on by parents to those they are sworn to protect their children. The expectation that a seatbelt must be worn in every seat, every time, no matter the time of day or night, does not start in driver's education classes. It starts at home. We cannot wait for the magic driving age of 16 to talk about seatbelts' importance. It's a discussion and it's a practice that takes place over years and with constant reinforcement. I can tell you that your children watch what you do. If you wear your seatbelt, they're going to do the same thing. Last year, non-seatbelt usage in fatal collisions was up significantly, and so was that of teen drivers involved in fatal collisions. That is a trend we cannot accept. A new trend starts today, and it starts with each of us doing our part. Let's commit to starting a new trend, one that sees our grandparents, parents, caregivers, and all roadway users set the example for our young drivers. A trend that sees all teens survive those early driving years when they are more likely to be involved in a collision due to their inexperience. This trend will undoubtedly save lives and become the norm. Every time they get in a vehicle, putting on a seatbelt will be a no-brainer for the rest of their promising lives. Please join us in this challenge, and I can assure you that law enforcement officers will be out today looking for seatbelt violations all across our state, because it's the law and lives are at stake. To reemphasize, Secretary Boyette mentioned we're going to be doing a checkpoint today in Robeson County, and it's not going to just be in Robeson County, it's going to be across the whole state. We're going to be out in force, and we're going to be out enforcing click it or ticket. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. We appreciate you and we appreciate your partnership. Finally, our final panelist, I'm really pleased to introduce to you Kendall Chavis. He's a senior at St. Paul's High School, and he's an offensive lineman with their superb football team. He is with that team and with their coach to share the importance of having the right equipment on and off the field. So Kendall, if you've got your camera on, if you would, I'm going to turn it over to you now.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Good morning. My name is Kendall Chavis. I am a senior and offensive line at St. Paul's in St. Paul's, North Carolina. I'm here today to tell you about my story, which happened on April the 21st. My brother and I were driving to school when a driver crossed the center lane, slammed into my vehicle, causing me to steer to the right into a ditch. When my vehicle came to a complete stop, when vehicle came to a complete stop, I was able to check, and my brother and I was not injured. We both made sure that without wearing our seatbelts, we would have been injured. As a football player, I know the importance of having the right equipment. As Coach Sesser always tells us, this equipment can keep us from being injured on the field and off the field. Knowing the right equipment is just as important as my seatbelt. My seatbelt is the safety equipment in my car. I never start my engine without putting on my seatbelt first and making sure my passengers are also buckled in. I never forget to tell all the people how important it is to wear a seatbelt. I am a proud seatbelt champion. I believe in seatbelts. I know seatbelts save lives. I am here, and my brothers are here to say, buckle up every seat, every time.
Thank you, Kendall. I appreciate that very much. Those are wise words. Personal experience tells us the importance of seatbelts. We know that in order to get folks to wear their seatbelts, that we have to have a multifaceted approach. Personal stories like Kendall's, law enforcement, such as Colonel Johnson, and we also need the media. We need to advertise this message of the importance of wearing seatbelts. To do that, we have an ad that we'd like to show you now, specifically geared towards Southeastern North Carolina, encouraging people to wear the seatbelt and the difference it can make in saving your life. We're going to play that ad now.
When you've lived and worked in Southeastern North Carolina as long as I have,
you start to remember places differently.
Every new crash is a new landmark for me.
Like NC 211 at Mount Olive Church Road,
Chicken Road at NC 711,
or even Roberts Avenue and East 5th Street.
So I need you to buckle up.
Every seat, every time.
Because Southeastern North Carolina is our home.
It's not just about the law.
It's about our neighbors' lives.
Okay, it looks like we're having some technical difficulties with that ad. So we will try to play this later, or at the very least, we will have this link available on our website for media that are interested in showing this ad, featuring Robeson County specific officers and Robeson County specific locations, talking about the importance of seatbelt use and why law enforcement engages in enforcement. Do we have that back, or do we need to go to our next segment? Okay. What we'll do now, this concludes our event. I would ask, whoops, we might have something.
When you've lived and worked in southeastern North Carolina as long as I have,
You start to remember places differently.
Every new crash is a new landmark for me.
like NC 211 at Mount Olive Church Road,
Chicken Road at NC 711.
Okay, folks, we're
Or
going to
even
try that
Roberts
video
Avenue
again.
and East 5th Street.
so I need you to buckle up
Every seat,
Okay,
every
if
time.
not,
because
I
southeastern
would
North Carolina is our
now
home.
ask that
It's
all
not just about the
participants
law.
cut back
It's about our neighbors'
on
lives.
their video. If you would not mind doing that, all of our participants. If there are any questions the media has, our video will be available to you. It was sent out in the press release, and we are happy to send that out again upon request. Are there any questions our media partners have about the Click It or Ticket campaign kicking off today? Okay. Do we want to try that video one more time?
When you've lived and worked in southeastern North Carolina as long as I have,
You start to remember places differently.
Every new crash is a new landmark for me.
like NC 211 at Mount Olive Church Road,
Chicken Road at NC 711.
Or even Roberts Avenue and East 5th Street.
so I need you to buckle up
Every seat, every time.
because southeastern North Carolina is our home.
It's not just about the law.
It's about our neighbors' lives.
As long as I have, you start to remember. When you've lived and worked in southeastern North Carolina as long as I have,
You start to remember places differently.
Every new crash is a new landmark for me.
like NC 211 at Mount Olive Church Road,
Chicken Road at NC 711.
Okay,
Or
folks,
even
looks
Roberts
like we're
Avenue and
having
East
some
5th Street.
issues with the
so I
video.
need you to buckle up
Every
For
seat,
those who
every
need
time.
it and do not have
because
access to it,
southeastern
we
North
are
Carolina
happy
is our
to
home.
send this out. This commercial will be running from now until mid-June in the Robeson County and Southeast North Carolina area. In addition to that, we'll have our media efforts across North Carolina during this campaign, and law enforcement will be out in force. Are there any questions from the media or any other participants?
I do have a question for Mr. Kendall. This is Jessica Horn from the Robesonian. I wanted to ask, did you say a driver crossed in front of you and you swerved, or did you crash?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, we was coming around the corner and a driver went over to the center line and hit the corner of my vehicle, moving us to the ditch. So,
Thank you, sir.
yes, ma'am, no problem.
Thank you all very much for participating in this event. Are there any other questions from the media?
No, sir. Thank you so much.
Great. Again, thank you all very much. Our friend Kendall has got into great tests today, so we are going to get him to those tests, and we wish him the best of luck. Thank you all for helping us share the word about our Memorial Day Click It or Ticket campaign. Have a great day.